Hello. Some people are asking about aslainsmod pack and what to install. This is kind of the basic ones that I've picked on. I don't pick on anything that's overly fancy. I don't do a lot of the skin mods or anything else. Like these contour ones, they go on your side panel. They give you additional information. They've kind of already done that anyways. Some of this is how many plane squads, torp range, for example. That's additional information, which you can over time you learn it anyways. So I don't use it anymore. Chip previews. This is on in your carousel view. I don't bother with that anyways. This is also side panel information. This next one. So again, we're kind of doing that already. Some of these give you way more information and some of these are very fancy. Again, it's not something I use, and I'll explain why, because this one here shows your health, but I'll show you why I don't use these ones. I don't use these ones because I use this one. This one's called At the Top. Version 1 was standard one color information. This version 2 actually gave you more information. Like red is battleships, blue is cruisers, green is destroyers. It'll tell you what tier, if they're in a division. It shows their last known health that was visible. So that kind of helps you out. Then you know who you need to find first, or whether or not they're detected. That's what that is for. And then I don't bother with the side panels because I don't need to know, because I can already see everything I need to at the very top. It also, what you can't really see in the picture is it actually has a brief version of the name of the ship. So I can quickly glance at it and go, oh, there's an Indianapolis and a Baltimore and a Cleveland. Oh great, they got 3 radar ships. Yay. Next is crosshairs. Most of these are static, and a lot of these are actually in the game already. Now I use dynamic. This is based on a 30 knot speed, but every once in a while it's useful to have the 20 knot speed, which is right here underneath it. Whether or not you like that amount of information or you're okay with just the 30 knot information, then you whatever. People go, why do you use dynamic over static? Well, static you have to be zoomed in all the way to make it actually work properly. If you're not zoomed in all the way, it does not work properly. So dynamic, you can actually change your zoom value, and these numbers will compress or expand based on your zoom. So it adjusts to your zoom level. So that's why I choose it. Other than the fact that most ships higher up do 30 knots or faster. You should talk to me in my Haida. I do 38.4, and that's just with a 5% speed boost. And I'm being asked if I'm redoing this video. Yes, doing it now. The next one is visible rangefinder. Basically, it just gives you more visibility on the screen. I prefer the yellow. The blue is also not too bad, but I choose on the yellow. These camera mods are for in the port or also in game. So what happens is, instead of being tiny, they get closer. But it also means you see less of your crosshair. Now, for those of you with 3 monitors or 2, this will affect you less, because I used to have 3 monitors and I would pick on a zoom so I could actually see targets a little bit better and give a better idea of how, when, and where I should shoot. Currently I'm playing on 1 monitor, so it doesn't really, it's too much overkill, so it's really hard to use instead. It's counterproductive. This is a ship movement indicator. there's one color setup I would love to have, and I would love red to be stop and the stern to be yellow. That is what I would love to see, but there isn't that option, and the purple and the red are too close together that sometimes you glance at it, you're not 100% sure. Some people might say this is a little bit of cheating. Somewhat. I use mostly ships with torpedoes. Guess what? I can flip to my torpedoes. I can already tell if you're going forward or backward. So this is just, it saves me the step. These are your detections. So, you know, when you get detected, where you're detected by a ship or a plane or radar hydro, it shows in the upper right. So some of these are goofy, some of these are more clear, more bright. I like the yellow again because it's bright, it shows up. Target lock, that's just your crosshair, what color you want. Compass is in your lower left if you want a different compass. I like this one. It's just personal preference. Hit markers, guess what? That's already in the game. It's irrelevant. So, because hey, that looks very familiar, doesn't it? Guess what? A lot of these mods are actually making it into the game. Torpedo warnings, these are actually fairly large. I like it, it stands out more than the generic one. Some of you have asked about ribbons. Well, here they are, because you've noticed that some people have a different ribbon. Well, this is where they get them from. Detection, just more detection markers. The mini-map. You know how we've got the customized circles for radar and everything else? Well, that's where it came from, was originally was mods. The detection with lines, guess what? That was a mod. Now it's in-game. The only difference is this would actually show a crosshair, and that is also coming to the game as well. That's coming up pretty soon, next patch I believe. In some ways it gives you a little bit of advantage for people in smoke, but it's not significant. If you know how to aim and you knew where the ship was in the first place, guess what? You can still already hit people in smoke, even when they think that you're cheating or not. How can you see me in smoke? Well, actually I can't. I'm just guessing. And I happen to guess right. Sorry. I do the extended tech tree. What that does is it shows you all the premium ships that you can buy or win. It shows you actually ships that are being worked on but aren't available. There's a T-61 in there, there's a few other ones that I can actually see. I already have a rough idea of their stats and what they're going to be. Session stats. I like it just because then I can go to the very last one and it'll tell me victories versus losses, my percentage, my damage caused, how I'm doing, if I'm doing well that day or not, or maybe I should just call it a day and go to bed. The other ones, more carousel options, but a lot of these features are already, they're in the game already. These filters are already in the game. It makes it a little bit more convenient for you. That's about it. Clear vision, it just takes away that graying out when you're doing the mod, when you're changing your layout. And this just brightens up the captain information, which isn't that bad anyways anymore. They also updated it. Dock appearance. Some of these you can now choose to some of the docks that have disappeared, and you can get them back. But I don't bother. Different flags. These loading screens don't seem to work anymore, just so you know. I had chosen one of them. Maybe they work again now. I don't know. I don't even worry about it. I'm not looking at my loading screen very long. It's click on done by. Tracer effects on your shells. If you need, what happens is you get a little bit more visibility. This one here is actually, this one's new. I'm actually going to give it a try, see what it looks like. There's some crazy ones you can have that I think they would cause a little bit too much information overload on the screen. I can't see because of the tracer fire. Turn it off. So, but I'm going to give this one a try. It's a little bit different. Tracer, contrails only. This is behind your shells. This one I can actually say is almost like cheating. And I'm only saying that for anyone who's trying to shoot at someone in smoke. You can trace these back to where they're shooting from extremely well. It gives you a much better idea where they're shooting from. I don't actually choose it for that reason. I like the additional information of when I'm shooting at planes, it will sometimes flash on my screen. I go, oh, I got a plane on top of me. You can also do the rainbow lines, but I'm not gay. No, and I don't have issues with anyone being gay. Anyways. I'm trying the blue flames, why not? If you like the ARP ships and their effects, then you can do that. Reduce splashes in water. If you find the new splashes too much, then you can tone it down. Cruise control. This just brightens it up. It's more visible. Advanced hit points bar, you can choose whatever you want. These relocate your ship information. If you're using multiple monitors, I would advise experiment, and then you're going to have to adjust because it doesn't show up where you think it's supposed to. In the 3-monitor situation, it doesn't actually show up where it shows in this picture because it's only moving it X amount of pixels over. It's not actually setting it in a certain location. So it's still stuck over on your second monitor out in the middle of nowhere, so it's even more useless than what it was before. Because now you have to stop looking to your left so far. Instead of just glancing all the way to your left, you have to stop halfway through a monitor. Yeah. Guess what? They've already done this. This is now redundant. It's no longer needed. Radio location, that's for your RPF, sorry. And if you wanted a different color, then have at it. This is the other useful one that some people complain about, that it's too much information. It just shows you what your angle is to the ship that you're targeting. The thing is, over time, you become more aware of this anyways. The only thing I use this for is sometimes it's hard to tell if the ship is moving towards me or away from me, and instead of me glancing at the mini-map and figuring it out, I can just look down and see it that way. The smoke counter, guess what? It's already in the game. Custom battle loading screen. I choose this one because it gives me the map and the player information right away, instead of having to flip between the two screens. So I can see what map we're on, and then I can mouse over the ships if I choose to or not. Mouse pointers. Hey, look at that bright green. Some of these, there's one here that is called Team Aware, and if someone else has it, you can actually kind of plan things together. So if you play with divisions a lot, or your clan mates, then this would actually be a very useful tool for you guys to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, what you want to do, where you want to go, and gives you a plan of attack. So it is somewhat very useful for you guys. This is when you're in the overhead view, and you can get rid of text if you find it annoying. This is the info panel. I rarely use this. It's there. I don't really glance at it too much, other than the fact that maybe I want to know how far the guy can shoot it before I shoot off my guns at a different target, so that I know that I'm out of range of somebody else. But that's about it. This one will show you additional information. you got your secondary information so that you know your ranges instead of having on your mini map, which then gets really cluttered with garbage, too many circles. This makes it so that when you hold down the H key, you can move it around so it's in a more useful spot. This is only when I'm driving a new ship and I'm like, I forget. This is probably the most important one, this score timer. This lets you know if you're going to lose or not and how much time you have. So if you're down to a couple of ships and you've got a points lead, you can kind of figure out if you're going to win or you're going to lose. Do you have to risk dying, or can you just run away and play safe? Some campaign, what it does, it has your campaigns that you're running in the bottom left, so you can get just how you're progressing. It's just more compact. Instead of the huge ring that comes up, it's a little bit smaller. I'm suspecting this will come in the future patch anyways. This is a captain recommended for your class or ship type by most standard use. I'm going to say that depending upon who you are and if you're more advanced, this becomes less useful. Because you look at somebody like Flamu and they start creating weird builds, but they work, but it isn't what you would call standard build. So I'm also the same way. I've gone completely against standard build for some of my destroyers, and it works out pretty well for me. So, but that's me. I play differently anyways. So group chat. This is just it will add additional information, different layout. I like this one because it tells me it's actually changed. It's not green. It'll be actually, yeah, these guys are green. When you talk, it's yellow. But I get to see which ship is talking, because I don't always know the name, but I know the ship of the person, and I go, where are they? They're over there, whatever they need. If you got kids, hey, guess what? But I don't know if it works for North America. Hey, you don't want the chat? Look at this. Group number 2, disable the battle chat. You don't have to worry about anyone else ever whining to you ever again, or giving you any sort of help recommendations. This is all just different crew appearances. This is different sounds. Be wary, some of these aren't very good. Some of them are just like, they don't make any sense at all. I tried a few and I was like, never mind. Ship skins and appearance. This will change some of the skins. Be careful, some of them are really large. That's 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabytes. So yeah. If you have a weaker computer, these are compressed textures, so they will be easier for your computer to display, so your frame rate should improve. The visual quality of the game will decrease, but at least you can play better. This is just an effect. These are some special camos that you can get. This one I'm really not sure what it's doing. I think it's getting rid of some of the glare. But anyways. This is just a weird effect. I don't know if I like it or not. It's just the way it is. Now some of these I don't really know. You can get big waves if you want. It's going to probably impact your computer a little bit more. This gets rid of the fog, anti-glare. This anti-glare makes the game look very dull, just so you know. I tried it. It also makes really weird effect on certain things. Certain ships have a weird shimmer to them, some of the destroyers. And then the buoys are actually harder to see. So I'm just letting you know. Get going. Night battles, I don't think that works actually, but if you have the ability to have a frame rate that's higher than what is limited, it's limited to 75 frames per second. So if some of you go, oh, my computer can't, it only does 75 frames per second. Well, that's because that's what it's set to. If you want to see what you can do, bump it up to even higher. I do 120, don't matter, because I don't get above 100 on my laptop, and the monitor can only do 60 hertz anyways, so it don't matter. If you got a nice 144 megahertz screen in your game, you can run it at that frame rate, then choose it. It'll make your game run smoother. It'll be nicer. These are some external apps. Randomized ship selector. You don't know what you want to play, click battle. It will just randomly pick a ship. Have fun. Matchmaking monitor. This one, what it does is when you load in, this thing will scan your game and pick out everyone's name and load up their win ratio and everything else. And I'm going to tell you right now, all the people in this game suck. On this side, there is no one here who's any good. There's a lot of red and orange and yellow. So interesting time he played at to take a shot of that. But it'll give you green, it'll give you purple, and that way you know who is most dangerous on the other team. Especially if you've got two monitors, then you can have that matchmaker monitor over on the other monitor, and you can see instantly who is very dangerous. So if you're in a destroyer and you're up against other players in destroyers, you can immediately see how good are they, and it'll give you an idea of what you're going to be up against or not up against. Some of these other ones are big changes. Just things, if you like something visually differently, then that's what you do. Anyways, I hope this helps people and gives you a better idea instead of you bumbling along. The ones I've chosen are mostly, they're the most kind of useful ones with very minimal changes. And yeah. Alright, peace out.